Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel for another episode of Cooking with Me Aldi style. So earlier this week in my haul, I mentioned one meal idea was going to be chicken tacos. So that's what we're having for dinner tonight. So let's start here with the chicken thighs, which came from Aldi. I bought this a couple weeks ago and I had it in my freezer. So now we're gonna defrost it and cook it in the Instant Pot. Now with these boneless, skinless chicken thighs, you take the taco seasoning, which is from Aldi. Everything here is only from Aldi. I'm going to rub this seasoning mix into the chicken and then top it off with this medium garlic salsa. This specialty selected garlic salsa is so good. So I can't imagine just how good it's going to be bathing the chicken while it cooks. So as I mentioned, we're going to put the taco seasoning on the chicken and then put salsa on it and Instant Pot it, and then when it comes out we're going to shred it, and you just use the juices from the salsa and the chicken cooking to moisten up the chicken as you shred it. Now to top off the chicken, we have here the tomato pico de gallo that I bought in my haul this week, and this, I mentioned this is really good. Now I also was going to have some onions chopped up, but then my partner noticed that there are red onions in the pico de gallo, so there's no need for extra onions. Aside from pico de gallo, here's the iceberg lettuce that we got this week, and we're just going to cut up part of this head into shreds so we can put it, on top of our tacos. And the last topping here is some sour cream from Friendly Farms, which of course is from Aldi. And then I have here some corn tortillas by Pueblo Lindo. So we're going to take these tortillas and we're going to warm it up in a skillet, get them nice and warm, a little bit brown, and use that to roll up our salsa chicken and all the toppings to make these nice soft tacos. Now, I myself, instead of eating a taco, I'm going to make a burrito bowl with the toppings. And instead of using rice in the burrito bowl, I'm going to use this organic Simply Nature quinoa that I got this week. I've just fallen in love with quinoa because not only is it easy to make and it tastes delicious, but it's healthier for you. So I'm going to use this quinoa as a base of my burrito bowl, and then put my chicken and my pico de gallo and lettuce and maybe a little bit of sour cream for flavor on top. So join me as we put together this really simple, quick, but ultimately delicious meal made with items strictly from Aldi. Okay, so the first step is we have 1 cup of chicken broth here, and we're going to put it into the Instant Pot, followed by this whole 16-ounce jar of specially selected medium garlic salsa. Just pour it in there.
The whole thing?
Yep, the whole thing. And then I'm just going to use my little whisk and just mix it up a little bit. Now the next step is we are going to take these chicken thighs and we're going to put the taco seasoning on it. So,
And all this is from Aldi.
Yep, everything's from Aldi. So this is not an exact science. I'm just going to take some of this chicken thigh. Oh, it's a big thigh. Put some seasoning on there and just kind of rub it in.
Just rub it in.
Remember, it's going to be cooking in salsa. This is just going to give it some little extra flavor, I think. Once it's seasoned, we'll just put it straight into the Instant Pot and see how it's immersed in the salsa. So it's going to really get the flavor of the salsa and the chicken broth. Oh, the reason we decided to add chicken broth was I didn't think it was going to be soupy enough in the Instant Pot without the tomatoes giving me a burn message. So since we're cooking chicken, we just took a can of chicken broth and put some in there. Because in the end, you're going to take the chicken out to shred it, so it doesn't really matter if there's going to be a lot of juice at the bottom.
There's only a little bit in that package. You might as well use the whole thing.
No, quite a lot actually.
Mm.
But the rest I'm going to pour into the pot.
Oh, okay.
So all the flavors will be there. And 2 teeny tiny pieces of chicken.
Mm. They need love too.
Yes, they do. Okay, drop them in there, and then we'll just pour the rest of the sauce over top. Okay. Then grab my Instant Pot lid. Put it on. Make sure it's set to sealing. We're going to hit the manual button, and we want to cook it. We're going to overdo it. We're going to do it for 15 minutes because we want to make it easy to shred. So the longer you cook it, the softer it gets and more fall apart. So once it beeps, that means the whole cycle is starting like that, and then it'll build up pressure. Once it comes up to pressure, it'll cook for 15 minutes, and then we'll do a quick release. And while the chicken's cooking, we're going to clean up a little bit here. Then we're going to chop up the lettuce and get our toppings ready. Alright, so the chicken is cooking, and so we took that head of iceberg lettuce from earlier, and we just chopped it into shreds, as you can see. We washed it and we put in this little bowl so we can put it on the table and pick lettuce as we eat. And so now we're just waiting for the chicken to finish so we can shred it. Okay, so the Instant Pot has finished cooking. Timer just went off. So now I'm going to quick release the pressure. So to do that, you take this valve and you flip it over to sealing. Then I'm going to use my PVC elbow to redirect the steam away from going up. So you flip it. And we just let the pressure release until that little silver valve there drops. Okay, so the steam is slowing down, so I'm going to remove my elbow because now the steam isn't shooting straight up anymore. And we are waiting for the silver pin to drop. And once that pin drops, that means all the pressure is released and the lid will now be unlocked. And the pin has dropped, so that means I can now open up the Instant Pot. So you take it, you twist, take off the lid, and there is the chicken. Okay, so you can see the chicken is bubbling and it's hot, so looks pretty cooked. I'm going to stir it up just a little bit, get some of that extra seasoning off. Then now I'm going to transfer this into this bowl. Okay, so you see there's a lot of sauce left in here, but that's fine because now that the chicken is in the bowl, I'm going to shred it and can either use 2 forks or you can use a hand mixer. I'm going to try with the forks, and if it's too much work, then I'm just going to flip over to the mixer. But as you're shredding it, and if you notice that it's a little dry, you just take some of this soup and you just pour it over the chicken to give you some moisture. And then once you shred the chicken, it'll be ready. Okay, so this is what the chicken looks like after it's shredded. I got lazy, decided to use my mixer. And so now that it's shredded, we're just going to dish it out into a serving bowl, and we are ready to assemble some tacos. Okay, so before we get started eating, I'm going to heat up some tortillas here. So these are the Pueblo Lindo corn tortillas. Take it out. And this is my skillet. I've been heating it up. And so we're just going to throw it in there and just let it get a little warm. And it usually turns a little brown on one side. And then once we have a plate of these ready, then then they're ready to be made into tacos. And I also made some quinoa earlier. That's pretty easy, like I had mentioned before. You put 1 cup of quinoa to 1 cup of chicken broth, or 2 cups to 2 cups, 2 cups. It just has to be equal. And then you put it in the instant pot on manual setting for 1 minute, and then when it's over, you let it count up to 10 minutes, and then you do a quick release like I showed you, and then you take the lid off and fluff up the quinoa, and it's ready. So let me show you what my quinoa looks like. Okay, this here is my quinoa. I actually made it earlier today because I had some for lunch. So to make this rather large batch of quinoa, it was, like I said, 2 cups of quinoa and 2 cups of chicken broth, cooked on high pressure for 1 minute, 10 minutes slow release, and then you puff it up. And I'll be eating out of this for several days. I just don't like to make 1 cup at a time because it seems like a waste. Alright, so I heated up just a few tortillas. They're crispier. I don't know if you can tell, but they didn't turn color like the flour ones do. But that's okay because they're warm and they're slightly crispy. Alright, so we are assembling the tacos. We've got the chicken, the sour cream, the lettuce, the pico de gallo, and I almost forgot to mention, this is the Happy Farms by Aldi reduced fat Mexican style shredded cheese I bought this week. And so now for the taste.
Time for a little tasty tease. Doesn't it look delicious? Everything's all original, all fresh right here. The only thing is missing is me eating the thing. There's the tasty tease. You really taste the flavor of the chicken with the taco sauce seasoning that was in it. This is good. Almost better than Taco Bell. It's better than Taco Bell. Because I can make as many as I want and don't cost much.
Okay, so what's your final verdict?
Delicious.
Thumbs up?
Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, but I got 1 with my finger on it. Thank you.
And for myself, since I am watching what I eat, I have made the burrito bowl with the quinoa on the bottom. There's a shredded chicken, lettuce, and lots of pico de gallo. So I'm going to dig in and enjoy. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, if you like it, subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And I would love any comments on this recipe. Have a good night.